What's up, guys? Faruqi Bros here, back with another video, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a Snyder Cut update. We've been covering the Snyder Cut for the last 2 years, and with each video we make, it feels like we're getting closer and closer to the release of the film. So we're going to talk about kind of the updates starting from the last time we left off, which was when he dropped Black Suit Superman a couple of weeks ago, and then since then he's been teasing using his favorite movie, Excalibur, and quoting specific lines from the movie and tying it directly with his own movie. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some rumors, talk about kind of where we think the Snyder Cut is at in terms of the eventual release of it. I'm going to start with Umar on this one. What do you think about the latest stuff that's come out of the Snyder Cut? And do you think we're any closer for it coming out now than we were on November 17th?
Well, I think it's obvious that it's going to come out. Because I think it's like a weird thing. If you look at it, Zack Snyder was working on Army of the Dead, and I know he's doing this, like he's doing both things at the same time, but why would this man keep putting up pictures, keep, answering questions about his movie, and keep putting up things, keep telling the fans to keep fighting and stuff, if there wasn't actually something there? So I think it's going to come out. I think it's a matter of when. It's more of a matter of, like, when will it come out and how. When, meaning, like, how many more months or maybe a year, who knows. And how, in terms of, like, is it going to be theatrical release, or is it going to be on HBO Max, or what? But I don't think it's much of a question that it's coming. It's just a matter of when and how.
And, I feel the same way, honestly, about it. And I think that all this is leading to a certain crescendo, as they say, a certain main point where it's going to come out. And I think you got to look at kind of the behind the scenes. I'm not going to tell you everything that we're hearing about it, but because some of it's confidential. But, basically, when you look at the whole thing, here's the facts we know. We know that on November 17th, Zack Snyder pretty much galvanized the entire fandom to come together. You got 800,000, viral tweets. You had Gal Gadot. You had Ben Affleck. You had Jason Momoa. Everyone showed up that day to support. So what that meant was that you wouldn't have someone like Gal Gadot specifically show up to release the Snyder Cut unless at least something started, whether it be some sort of negotiation, some sort of movement. And I do think, personally speaking, and speaking on behalf of all four of us, that Zack has been in touch with the powers that be, in this case AT&T, HBO, Warner Brothers. These are the main three parts of the overall umbrella that is under AT&T and Warner Media that controls the release of the Snyder Cut, right? So I think Zack has been working with them, and everything that we've been seeing leads to the question of what exactly has been happening since that point forward. And I think a educated guess that any fan can make is that negotiations have taken place, and whatever elements that Zack is asking for are in the process of either being completed or given, or whatever the case might be. So let's just say if it's about visual effects and getting whatever amount of money needed to complete what's left, or do whatever small amount of pickups that are needed. Let's say he needs to shoot with Harry Lennox the Martian Manhunter scene. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about here. And then, like Umar said, stuff like, is this movie going to get a theatrical release? Is this just going to be an HBO Max thing? Personally, from what I'm hearing from my people, it's that Warner Brothers is still very shaky on even a limited theatrical release. They really, if it's going to come out, they prefer that it be purely an HBO Max. But I do feel like Zack himself does want this to have some kind of theatrical presence, which, I guess it does deserve, for a movie that's this long and hasn't come out for this long as well. So we'll see exactly how that happens.
Well, the question is, Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, also had like a limited theatrical release, but
like a one day.
It wasn't for pay. It was like a free thing that fans could line up for and get in. Do you think they'll charge people to watch the movie, since it is a completely different movie?
I think they would. I think if you do the Fathom event, something like that, that's possible as well. I think even doing a 1 week screening isn't that out of the question, because this is DC's biggest property. It's the biggest thing that DC has, which is the Justice League characters. And this is a brand new film. This is a brand new film with an A-lister like Ben Affleck. This is a brand new film that gives you Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman again. This is a brand new film that gives you Jason Momoa as Aquaman, who just made $1 billion. So like the value is there, and I think the business merit is finally being shown to Warner Brothers. Samir, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder Justice League will come out. I think it should, and considering all the screenshots he posts and the Excalibur quotes, I think it will come out. It's just a question of when now.
Yeah, I agree, Samir, and Zack putting up all these pictures, I think it's obviously he's it's more like I think he's trying to show more to WB because obviously we don't know if the negotiations are 100% complete. We know they're really like far in, and maybe this is just his way of continuing the fans' support and getting the fans riled up and making them, the public support on Twitter is a huge thing, and it's continuously showing WB that the fans want this, and it's a great number of people who want this, and there's money to be made by putting this out. And I feel like there's no reason for Zack to just sit on it and let it die out. You keep giving the fans a little bit of hint, a little bit of like a few cool pictures here and there, and you keep building that support.
Reading between the lines, and let's get into Excalibur a little bit. Zack obviously loves that movie. It's the movie that he put as the film that Thomas and Martha Wayne were walking out of with Bruce, if I'm not mistaken. Or that's rather they're walking by the alleyway that had Excalibur playing, right? So it's a film that he's used a lot of parallels between, especially when it comes to Batman and Superman's fight scene in BVS. A lot of stuff draws heavily from that movie, but now he's been really kind of going in on these parallels between the Holy Grail and kind of and the Snyder Cut, and he's using all these things like drink from the chalice and you'll be reborn in regards to Superman coming back. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and I feel like eventually, if we're following the Excalibur mold, we're getting to the point where an announcement is imminent. So Umar, I'll ask you this question. We'll end it on you, actually. When do you think an announcement's going to come? Like, if you had to give a guess out there.
I honestly thought if they were going to get an announcement or something, it would have happened yesterday, or because Christmas or whatever, and he can act like he's giving a gift or something to the fans. But, like, I don't know. I think because they're probably still talking about how to release it and when to release it themselves, it just seems very shaky to give any type of real answer. I mean, I think in March they could, like, people always look at things like the dates, like the date, picking the right date is always cool. So, like, in March when Batman v Superman came out, maybe they could announce it then, like on that same day.
Or
they can announce it for release then.
Or they can do 2/14, release it, or not release it. You can release it or even announce it. By the announce is more realistic. Announce it on February 14th.
It depends how much work needs to get done. Like, you're talking about the Martian Manhunter scene, right? Like, if they need to shoot that scene, they're not going to be able to do it.
I think announcing it and releasing it are two different things. I think releasing it, I personally would love to something like April, May. That's a good time to release it.
Is it in their interest to release it before Wonder Woman, though?
I think so, yeah. I think it's a good thing to just carry the wave, into Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman takes place after anyways, so I think it would work.
What do you guys think about some of the fans saying that he's going to return?
I think that everything's on the table again. I think HBO and AT&T actually do see the merit. And it's worth noting that every single person, well, virtually every single person who was involved, everything involved with Zack Snyder leaving Justice League, all those people are fired. Starting from all to the top with the CEO, the president, everyone got fired except for Toby Emmerich. He's the only one who's left from that old regime, but even then, he got a demotion. He's not the same position that he used to be. It's a completely different ballgame now that Ann Snarnoff is running things, and the AT&T bought Warner Brothers. All this changed the game. I think if these things didn't happen, the Snyder Cut would have been a long shot right now. But the fact that everyone who works at these high-level positions are completely different, so they don't have that kind of animosity towards Zack or the kind of the hard feelings that happened with that breakup. So I think it opened the game up. So in terms of kind of what that leads to, I think that's what opened up the conversations and it led Zack to kind of get back in the ballgame with them. I think everything's on the table. If Snyder Cut comes out and it does crazy numbers on HBO Max and it performs like Game of Thrones, which is another HBO series, if it performs like Stranger Things on Netflix, if it has that kind of viewership, or even The Irishman, which is like another 4-hour movie, give me any of those kind of numbers for this movie, and there's no reason not to give Zack another $100 million, 150 million, and say, you know what, make it Justice League 2. You know, like, let's go. Does that mean it's going to be just an HBO Max, like an HBO, like Zack Snyder's DCU continues on HBO? I don't know. Does that mean theatrical? I don't know. It's more questions for another time. But I do think it's very interesting, and I'm very excited to see how this plays out. But I think all of us can agree that we're getting closer to the Snyder Cut. I think we are getting much closer, and Zack knows this, and he's been teasing. He's been liking posts, including yours, Umer. So I think he knows the fans are very much ready. His comments have suggested that we're close. So let's see how it goes down. What do you guys think about the Snyder Cut? What do you guys think about the latest stuff that Zack's been dropping? Do you feel we're close to finally achieving this goal? Let us know in the comments below. From myself, from Zion, from Umar, and from Samir, this is the Faruqi Bros. We'll see you next time. Peace out.